Hello everybody, beau-hindman here, back for the second stuff I like. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Basically, this is a little miniature 10-minute quick video I like to do just to show off things that I like. The first one I did was my portable home office, which I used my Chromebook, my Samsung Chromebook, and my Nexus 7 tablet. This time I'm going to be covering something different, and I'm talking about Gundam model kits. You might be familiar with these. These are basically mostly snap together model kits that are based on Gundam Mobile Suit Warrior, Gundam whatever. I believe it was an animated series started in the 78 or something like that. I'd have to look it up, but honestly I'm not as much of a fan of the series as I am of just these kits. They're fantastic. Now I've had some larger ones, but I've also got these tiny ones. This one, for example, pick it up for $6 at a sci-fi convention. You know, you can see how small it is when you get done with it. Also, you'll notice that it's in one color, but they are posable, should be posable. You can put them in poses and make them running and stuff, and all that kind of good junk. Really pretty easy to put together. Some of them will be challenging. Surprisingly enough, this little guy, that little orange guy, was actually more challenging than some of the other ones. But they become bigger and better, and you can use them. They go up in grades, like in I think 1/100th scale is a large. I mean, just really big, fancy kits. I found a site. I'll link it actually in the notes there if my dog decides not to walk through the shot. But I found a site, Japanese. They basically order from Japan and bring the latest ones over here. Fantastic Gundams. I pick all mine up at cons. You know, I mean, you can see this one was $10 and he gave it to me for $8. They always give you a discount there live. This one's a little bit larger. I haven't put it together yet, but you see how much larger they get. They'll also become molded in different colors. So for example, now this, I don't have an example of that right now, but this one is all blue, but I have some Gundams in there that had different colors for the fists or for the armor or whatever. And what's fun about them is you really just have a good time putting together a model. You feel kind of like a kid again. But they're relatively easy. They might require some glue. A lot of people like to paint them up. They like to look at the cover here, for example. I'll show you real quick. They like to look at the cover and go, oh man, I've got to paint mine to look exactly like that. Or they weather them or something. I don't even mess with that. The thing I like about these model kits is that they have just an appeal in their raw plasticness. They're such a marvel of how, you know, the Japanese love their giant robots, and there's such a neat little example of how they engineer the parts. I guess they sculpt them and then they make a cast, and then they cast a little robot. But they do it to where even with very minimal glue, you can pose the arms. Some of them will use joints and stuff. Now the more advanced models, each little finger will be movable, posable, stuff like that. And then you have one like this. Now what's funny about this guy, you out there might remember this one. I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 74 to give you an idea. I'm 39 years old as of the other day. And this guy here, Iron Gear, when I was a kid, I would often find cheaper Transformers at Toys R Us or something. And this was one of them. And if you can see, he's got a little pilot. That's actually supposed to be a full-size Gundam. So he's supposed to be like a battleship, I guess. But these guns and all that, he actually is supposed to transform into like a battleship type of, you know, creature or whatever, or I'm sorry, or aircraft. This one actually doesn't transform, but when I was a kid, I bought this toy, and his legs fold out. I think his arms form into like launchers or blasters or something like that. But when I saw this, because what I've done as part of my digital life project, or whatever you're going to call it, I'm actually going to make a video about that here soon. Stuff I like about that, where I've been going back and collecting and collating, and I guess that's the right word, organizing all of my old stuff from my childhood, including toys. I've been finding a lot of the old toys. I don't just collect random toys. I collect toys that actually mattered to me as a kid. And I had this cheaper Transformer. He was probably $5 or $10. I got him from Toys R Us. That's back when you could buy a really cool robot transforming toy from Toys R Us, and they would be relatively inexpensive and really neat. And this was one of them. And I didn't even remember this guy until I saw it sitting there this year at the Sci-Fi Con here in Dallas. And I didn't grab it then, and I wish I would have. And I was like, darn it. And now, last time I was there, I went ahead and, whenever the same vendor was at a different con, I went ahead and grabbed it for $8 He gave me a discount. It doesn't transform, but now I can research what that toy I had was and maybe find it. Now this one is all one color as well. Now see, I don't really have any representations for the multicolors, but the instructions are pretty basic. They're in Japanese, but honestly, they're so easy to figure out. It's not a problem at all. You've got, actually this does have 2 colors. See, so the cheaper kits you're going to get 2 colors with. You're not going to get all the super, you know. But I've seen, for example, if you go to the site that I'm going to link in the notes there, and you search for the O, as in the giant O as an Oscar, it's a magnificent, huge kit for only about $100. Now, I don't know how much shipping is going to be on that sucker, but it's only about $100. And honestly, it's fantastic looking. They have some for as little as 50 and 60 bucks. And they're much larger and much more complicated. I've only conquered these little guys. I've got a box in there of them assembled, of a few more advanced ones I didn't bring with me, but I'm getting ready to put them on a new shelf once I move into a new recording room that's better for sound and all that. But it's like this little guy here probably took 30 minutes or an hour of casual. You know, I was just sitting there putting them together, and I use a little glue on some parts if they don't seem to quite be holding together, you know, tightly or whatever. Like his fist here is a little bit loose. You might be able to see that there. His fist is a little. Let me see if it'll autofocus. It might. But anyway, so they're, you know, they're not always perfect. But you can use a little glue. You can paint them if you want. Like I said, I like to leave them in their absolute raw form because I marvel at how detailed these guys and girls over there get with these designs. I mean, this one here, for example, I'm surprised this doesn't have more than 1 color because it's larger than this other one. Actually comes with a pilot. You can see it there. Actually comes with a pilot that sits inside of his armor. So this is like an armor suit. And the pilot actually comes out and his arms are articulated and all that stuff like that. So Gundam model kits are known for their articulation, are known for their detail, and they're known to be generally easy. They do get more advanced, like in grades of, you know, level and quality and all that stuff like that. So you have to be aware of that. Like your kid might be able to put together one of these, but don't be surprised if you got even a master grade one and your kid or your buddy could sit down and finish one in an afternoon or a weekend or something like that. If you want to paint them and get all into that, I think that's cool. But me personally, like I said, I love it to leave in the raw plastic form. There's just something about the design of these that I like to look at in its raw form. I don't really care that it's going to be, I don't really care if it's going to be realistic looking. I don't want it to look realistic. I want it to look like a toy, just a plastic toy. And so that you can see the raw plastic, you know, of it. I mean, when you look at the instructions, they can be a little bit intimidating occasionally. You know, there's a lot of detail and stuff in there. But I haven't ran across one that really killed me yet. I've run into a few that didn't go together that well. You know, that kind of fit together a little bit loosely. But almost every one of them I had so far snaps together or requires just very little glue. Now, the master grades, I haven't done a huge master grade, one of those $100 kits yet. But I believe that those big boys and girls there, I guess if a bot could be a female, sure. I think that those are much more intricate, but the payoff is that you get maybe an 8 or 10 inch model, 12 inch model that is just supremely detailed. In fact, the link that I'm going to put down there in the notes, go to that website, search around for different kits, look for the O, but also just look around the model kits, the Gundam kits especially, and you'll see just how incredibly detailed they have. And as a matter of fact, that website I'll be linking there, and I'll also link to a show that I subscribe to. It's 2 or 3 guys that they work for the website, the ordering company, but they will show you the latest shipments. And I'm telling you, the boxes get like this big, like a suitcase, and just piles. They also cover Zoids, which is, if you're an 80s kid like me, you remember Zoids. They were like robots that kind of snapped together with little parts, but they weren't quite a model kit. They were more like a Lego part in almost a way. It was a little bit easier than a model kit. But they had a Zoid kit that was like a suitcase. It was just huge, and it was like $100. I mean, it's not bad at all. So anyway, that's some stuff I like this week. I like these Gundam model kits. What do you think? Do you like Gundam model kits? I think you should, because they're a lot of fun to play with. They're a lot of fun to assemble, and then I'm going to have, once I get my new recording room with better sound quality and all that stuff like that, I'm going to probably have my own shelf with everything assembled. So let me know in the comments if you put together Gundams, or if you have a good source for Gundams, or if you know any good Gundam videos. But be sure to go to that website and order a couple, or go to a sci-fi convention or your local hobby shop. Maybe they might have them. But eBay is filled with them. They're easy to find, pretty cheap, and just a blast and a marvel of plastic wonder. I just love these things. So anyway, see you next time. Bye-bye.